Ladies and gentlemen, the news this evening from Rajouri is terrible. 3 army personnel have lost their lives while 3 others have sustained injuries after their vehicle was ambushed and fired upon by terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district. The army has released a statement saying that troops were heading to reinforce an anti-terror operation which had been underway since last evening. That operation, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, still continues. Let me go straight across to my colleague Pradeep, who's live with us. In fact, he's en route to Poonch Rajouri. Pradeep, what more details are you picking up? The army now officially confirming to us that 3 soldiers have been killed in the line of duty, but there have been more casualties, haven't there?
Yes, you're absolutely right. 3 have lost their lives and 3 are said to be critically injured and they have been evacuated to hospital. You rightly said it was yesterday evening following specific information about presence of terrorists in Dera Ki Gali area that operation was launched. And today at about 3:45 p.m. the additional reinforcement was sent to that particular place where the operation was being conducted. And that was the time when 2 vehicles were ambushed by terrorists in that area. They opened fire in which 3 army personnel, they lost their life and 3 of them were critically injured. Since then, that area has been properly cordoned. Right now, the search operation is continuing, and it's a very difficult and tough terrain because there is a thick forest cover and then there are natural cave hideouts. And we have seen that during the last 1.5 years, often terrorists make their presence felt in the twin border district of Poonch and Rajouri. They do not want to confine their activities only to Kashmir Valley, and they spill over to this side, and some of them have crossed the line of control. And for the last several months, they're hiding in cave. Many of them have been eliminated in different encounters. But you rightly said that this is the 3rd ambush this year. We saw that in the month of April in Tota Gali area, 5 bravehearts lost their life. Then 5 of them were ambushed in the Kalakut forest belt, and this time again in Dera Ki Gali. This particular belt that falls between the Thana Mandi and Surankot area, this is considered to be the hub of terror-related activities. There is a vast, dense foliage and a thick forest cover, and often they take shelter in that forest cover. That's one of the reasons that it becomes really very difficult for the armed forces to conduct operation, because they are at the advantageous position, they're at the dominant position. They keep an eye on each and every activity, and whenever they see any kind of a movement of the security forces, they try to target our bravehearts. So right now the operation is being conducted. Additional reinforcement has been sent. All entry and exit points have been plugged, and they are trying to ensure that these terrorists are not able to flee from that area. Let's see how long it will take, but yes, it's a very difficult operation.
Pradeep, it's a difficult operation given the terrain that we are talking about, Pradeep. Heavily forested, thickly forested, and an area where obviously the terrorists will have an advantage. But Pradeep, I quickly want to ask you, before I let you go, because I know you're making your way to Poonch, how many terrorists currently hold up in that forested area? There was some report of 1 terrorist being killed as well. Is the army confirming that?
So far, army has not confirmed killing of any terrorists, but yes, about 3 to 4 terrorists are believed to be hiding in that particular area. But there is an information that at least 30 terrorists are said to be moving right now in Poonch and Rajouri belt. Many of them have already been eliminated, because what really happens whenever there is a pressure of the security forces in Kashmir Valley, they spill over to this side, the south of Pir Panjal, try to make their presence felt. Often they try to target innocent, unarmed civilians also. They try to colonize the atmosphere. We saw that what really happened in Dangri on January 1st this year, when they targeted members of one particular community because they wanted that there should be communal tension, but they didn't succeed because people of Jammu and Kashmir really understand their modus operandi and their nefarious and sinister plot. So they foiled their nefarious plot of communalizing atmosphere, because they know that they want to create a kind of a divide among these communities. But yes, it's a very difficult terrain, because if you look at Kashmir Valley, it's almost a plain area. If you look at the Jammu region, it's a mountainous region, then there's a thick forest cover. So operation really becomes very difficult. And also, we have seen that a number of troops, ever since there had been a Galwan, had also been moved towards that side. So the presence of the troops also in this region is less as compared to Kashmir Valley. So that's one of the reasons that often they succeed in their nefarious plot and sinister design.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Pradeep, thank you very much. We'll keep track of the story with Pradeep, who's headed to Poonch. For the moment, the confirmation coming in from the Indian Army is that 3 Indian Army soldiers have lost their lives in action in this ambush that took place earlier today at about 3:30. Joining me on the broadcast is someone who knows the Kashmir Valley and the area we are talking about, Poonch Rajouri, very well. Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnain, thank you very much for joining us. This is the 3rd big ambush that we are seeing in the region, that is Poonch Rajouri. What explains what has happened today?
Thank you, Shreya, for inviting me for your program. And I start by expressing my deep regret once again. It's happening too frequently. I have to keep expressing my regret for the loss of our lives of our brave hearts. But as I was just listening to Pradeep also, his assessment is bang on, absolutely, except where I differ slightly will be that there is really no pressure from the valley side. What has happened is that the valley has been ignored now in terms of infiltration or build-up of strength into it, because almost the complete routes are well covered. Infiltration is not possible at this time of the year now with snow having come in, etc. These are resident terrorists who have been here in the Pir Panjal belt for some time now. Very correctly assessed by Pradeep, he said about 25 to 30 of them who have been making their way up and down. This is a very difficult area, and you can keep inducting troops here. I can tell you, we can keep inducting troops here, but you will have no surety that you will get complete security. This kind of a one-off operation from time to time will keep happening because movement of the army is there. I mean, we have a deployed army on the line of control also. We've got a deployed army in the depth areas. There is logistics which has to take place. There is movement of personnel from time to time. So that offers large targets to the terrorists. Yes, I agree, we should be careful, more drills should be adopted, etc. But notwithstanding that, I think a well-trained army like the Indian Army, the best of armies, itself will continue suffering this kind of a one-off incident from time to time. I don't advocate large-scale division-size operations of the type which were conducted in 2003 because they are counterproductive. You may be able to kill 5-6 terrorists, but that's about all. You have to make sure that you secure yourselves better and you make sure that your drills are far better. No movement in an offhand kind of a way. You have to be well prepared. You have to have good armor or plating on your vehicles. You should have good protection on your vehicles so that even if you come under ambush, you are not the ones who suffer the initial effects of the ambush so quickly. So these are some of the things. If at all any movement of troops has to take place, I would say some redeployment from the valley could possibly come south of the Pir Panjal for a short period of time. And that may help to some extent.
General Hasnain, I think you've explained the situation very well, but this is a question that people who are watching us will ask. Look, there was an operation on in the area already. You knew that there was a presence of terrorists there because this operation has been ongoing. This is a team of reinforcements that is going in to help the troops who are engaged in this anti-terror operation. How is it then that when you knew that there would be a presence of terrorists, given that there is an anti-terror operation on, how could you be ambushed?
You see, Shreya, it is difficult to explain this to lay people outside. But by day, even when you're reinforcing, it's not as if your road has been secured for you. These kind of reinforcements will take place post-haste. You see, you're conducting an operation there. It's not that every route leading to it is going to be protected and that you're going to protect that route and then move reinforcements. These reinforcements are there for contingencies and they're supposed to protect themselves. That's why I said we need more protection for these vehicles. You see, this is a time now when you are repeatedly being ambushed like this, then you have to think through this. I would strongly advocate that the Rashtriya Rifles in this area, all these areas here, should have adequate protection on their vehicles. And it's not difficult doing it, let me tell you. No one is asking them to put bulletproofing of vehicles or put heavy metal shields on them. All you need is improvised sleepers, lots of wooden sleepers on these, so that the first burst does not affect you in an ambush. The Indian Army is adept at these kind of measures. They've done it far too many times. I only hope that they can just listen to us once again, to remind them that this is what they need to once again adopt.
Okay. General Hassan, we leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. The news that is filtering in is that there have been more casualties, at least 3 more casualties. Have there been more fatalities? It's only once the army puts things out, will we put things out as well. We'll be cautious on that front. But General Hassan, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
perspective here on Mirror Now. A sad evening. A sad evening here on Mirror Now to be reporting the death of 3 Indian soldiers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on though.